Hey friends, it's Mr. Jim and welcome back to Kid Short Stories. If this is your first time, welcome to the family. We are the podcast that turns your ideas into an amazing adventure every single day. You know, we couldn't even exist without imaginations from kids just like you. So if you have an idea for a story, I'd love to see it. Check down in the show notes below for how you can submit your own story idea, and maybe we'll turn it into an awesome adventure. And parents, if you're new to kids podcasting, I want to challenge you to listen to podcasting for 5 days in a row with your kids. It's going to increase their imagination, decrease screen time, and we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Are you guys ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go! Patton and his mom were taking a walk outside after a rainstorm. Patton loved to splash in the puddles with his cool, squeaky rain boots. He splashed in a few small ones, pretending to be a ginormous dinosaur terrorizing the... I'm just kidding. Splashing through lakes. He found one with leaves floating inside and pretended to be a tidal wave, sending the leaf boats whizzing to shore. Okay, Patton, let's keep walking, his mother would say after each puddle. So Patton would stop stomping and walk next to his mom, searching for the next puddle. They turned the corner and he gasped at the sight of it. The largest puddle Patton had ever seen was spread out right before him. Mom, look at that puddle! I need to splash in it! Patton's mom laughed before nodding. Okay, go ahead. I'll be right there. Patton ran with glee towards the puddle. It looked very brown and muddy, which he thought was even cooler. He made it to the puddle, and without even stopping, he took a giant leap into it. Instead of the splash of his boots hitting the water and the muddy ground under it, Patton's feet went straight through the puddle, followed by his legs, body, and head. Whoa! Sploosh! Patton's mom watched in shock as Patton stomped into the puddle and disappeared. She ran over to it and poked it with her foot. It felt like an ordinary muddy puddle. She looked around to the yards all around. Maybe she was seeing things, and Patton had really just ran away somewhere quickly. But she didn't see him among the mailboxes or shrubs nearby. She looked at the puddle again and saw no other option. Patton, I'm coming! She shouted before jumping into the puddle with both feet and disappeared. Sploosh! Patton was sitting at the edge of a puddle, dangling his feet inside of it, as his mom plopped out of the puddle's sky and landed on the grass beside him. Ah! She squeaked when she saw what was peeking out of the puddle next to Patton. Menacing tentacles were attached to the horned sea monster that was floating in the puddle by Patton's legs. Patton, watch out! Instead of jumping away from the puddle, however, Patton looked around, confused. The sea monster raised a tentacle towards Patton's mom and waved. Oh, hey! You must be Patton's mom. He was just telling me about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, they sound delicious. Did you bring any? Patton's mom frowned at the sea monster. No. Sorry. Where are we? Patton smiled at his mom. That puddle was a portal to another world. Isn't that cool, Mom? He waved bye to the sea monster in the puddle and stood up, heading over to another. This puddle had a light pink glow to it, and Patton stuck his hand inside. He reached around for a bit and eventually pulled out 2 chocolate cupcakes with rainbow sprinkles. Here you go, he said, handing one to his mom. How did you know there were cupcakes down there? Oh, I asked the sea monster. He told me about the puddles, Patton told his mom as if it was no big deal. Okay, Patton, magic puddle portals, friendly talking sea monsters, and puddle cupcakes. Cool. Yeah, sounds totally normal, his mom said, trying not to panic. Without warning, Patton ran and leaped into another puddle. This time, he went up to his neck. When he climbed out, he was wearing a superhero costume that he was definitely not wearing before. Try it, Mom, he urged her. She walked over to the puddle and jumped in, not knowing what to expect. When she climbed out, she was in a ninja outfit. Cool, Mom, Patton shouted. Then he ran to the next puddle, reaching in and pulling out handfuls of candy. He gave some to his mom and then leapt into the next puddle, this time completely disappearing. Patton? His mother called into the puddle. Patton! She sighed and then jumped in after him once more, only to immediately land in the seat of a race car. Patton was sitting in the driver's seat beside her. He revved the engine and raced them around the grassy, puddle-filled field. Sometimes he would drive through puddles, ending up in tunnels, then hopping back out of other puddles. It was awfully confusing. Other times he would wave to different creatures as they poked their heads out to watch. Patton's mom was laughing and having a good time too. When Patton slowed the race car to a stop, his mom said, "Okay, whew, this was all very fun, but how do we get home?" Patton sighed and got out of the car. "Follow me, Mom." He led his mom back to the puddle with the horned sea monster from when she first arrived. "Leaving so soon?" the sea monster asked them. "Yeah, we have to go have lunch anyway." "Okay, next time bring me back a peanut butter and jelly sandwich," said the monster. Patton promised he would, and then he grabbed his mom's hand. Together they jumped through the puddle, landing back onto the road at home, besides the humongously muddy puddle. They walked back home raving about their puddle jumping adventure, and Patton was already planning their next trip. The end. Great job, you listened all the way to the end, and you know what time it is. It's time for Kid Shoutouts. I want to say hey to Melissa from British Columbia, Athena from Iran, Hudson and Graham from Long Beach, Beckett from Ohio, Ethan from New Jersey, and Kay from South Africa. I'm so glad that you're all in the Kid Short Stories family. We could not have this much fun with imagination without you, my friends. Well, phew, you have a super duper day, and I'll see you on our next adventure. Bye!